It was late. The kind of late where the kids were finally asleep. The dishes had been scrubbed down to silence, and the house breathed that rare sigh of peace. I was in the bathroom, wiping down the last of the day's mess, hands aching, eyes burning, when I saw it. The toilet seat, pee, hair, and for a moment, everything in me stopped. That small, grimy mess was the final straw on a day already too full. And the person who left it? My husband, the last one to use the bathroom. The man who had just stepped out of a warm shower while I quietly gathered everyone else's chaos into order. And now I had to clean up after him too? No. I walked into the hallway and said it. Asked him to come back and clean up. But it wasn't just a request. Not anymore. My voice, yeah, it was sharp, tight, worn down to the bone. I sounded snippy, accusatory, and he heard it like a shot fired. He came back, not with a paper towel, not with an apology, but with an argument. He looked at me, and instead of wiping down the mess, he asked, "How do you know that was me?" And just like that, it turned. From bathroom cleanup to something uglier, something older. I could feel the heat rise in my chest, not just from this moment, but from 1,000 others just like it. The times I picked up socks, the times I bit my tongue, the times I silently scrubbed stains that weren't mine. We've had this fight before, so many versions of it, different rooms, same script. He says I have a tone. I say I'm tired of asking nicely. He says he forgets. I say adults clean up their own messes. He says I'm not being a good partner. I say I'm carrying the whole damn house. I told him, even if it wasn't you, just clean it up. I clean up everyone's everything, all the time. Why is this the line you're drawing? He said, if you had asked nicely, I would have done it. But that's the thing. I don't want to have to ask nicely. I don't want to have to ask at all, because this isn't about tone. It's about exhaustion. It's about being the one who notices. He has ADHD. That's not a secret. And yes, he says he doesn't really notice messes. But I've been living in this reality long enough to know noticing is a choice, a habit, a learned act of care. I notice everything, because if I don't, no one else will. And I am tired. We have 2 kids with high needs, bathroom accidents, sensory issues, constant vigilance. My days are full of bodily fluids and invisible labor. I manage the schedules, the therapies, the meltdowns, the milestones. I clean. I soothe. I run triage on every moment. I don't want to have to manage him too. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about pee on a toilet seat. It's about respect. It's about how many times I'm expected to smile through cleaning up someone else's mess. It's about how I can't even get mad about it without being told I'm not communicating nicely. And let's be honest, if the roles were reversed, if I left pee on the seat, would he really need me to ask sweetly to wipe it up? Or would he just call it what it is? Gross, lazy, disrespectful. But for me, I have to manage my emotions, my delivery, my face, my voice, and the mess. So yes, I was snippy. And yes, he got defensive. And yes, I told him I thought it was childish, because it is childish, to argue about whether the pee is his, when I've been cleaning everyone's everything without question. To act like the real problem is my tone, instead of the mess he left behind. To expect applause for doing the bare minimum. An offense when asked to do it. He left the room in a huff. Mad. Quiet. Sulking. And I stood there, looking at the toilet seat, wondering, how did we get here? How did my marriage become a place where I'm scared to raise my voice, but expected to scrub down other people's urine with a smile? How did accountability become a battle? How did I become the villain for asking for help? Because I know I'm not perfect. I know I get sharp when I'm overwhelmed. I know resentment builds when you're drowning and no one throws you a rope. I know it's easier to criticize someone's tone than confront your own behavior. But what I also know is this: it is not wrong to expect adults to clean up after themselves. It is not wrong to be tired of playing housekeeper to someone who's supposed to be your partner. And it is not wrong to stop asking nicely when you've asked 100 times before. I want a partner, not a third child. Someone who sees mess and takes ownership. Someone who understands that remembering is love. That wiping down a toilet seat isn't just hygiene. It's a message. It says, I see you. I respect you. I know you're carrying a lot, and I want to carry some of it too. But right now, that's not the message I'm getting. Right now, I'm being told that unless I phrase things gently, sweetly, perfectly, my exhaustion doesn't count. My anger isn't valid. My boundaries are mean, and that hurts. Because in this house, I clean 99% of everything. And if I can't even ask for 1% to be noticed, to be handled, without an argument, then maybe the problem isn't how I ask. Maybe the problem is that I have to ask at all. So, am I the asshole? Was I wrong for snapping? For not saying please with a smile? Was it too much to expect an adult to look behind them and clean up a toilet seat? Or is this just what it looks like when someone who's been quietly holding everything finally gets loud? And now, a moment of reflection from your host here at AITA Stories. This isn't just a story about pee on a seat. This is a story about labor, emotional, physical, invisible. It's about the tension between partnership and performance. About what happens when the scales of care tip too far in one direction, and the weight of daily life becomes one person's full-time job. What struck me most in this story is how easily the conversation turned from accountability to accusation. How the real issue, a pattern of neglect, got buried beneath a single emotional response. How often this happens in relationships. One partner is exhausted, the other offended, and neither truly seen. Here's the thing. Empathy isn't just about being kind. It's about noticing. About walking into a bathroom and seeing the mess. Not just the physical mess, but the mess someone else has been quietly cleaning for years. And choosing, in that moment, to act. To step up. To say, you're not alone. So now, I turn it to you. When was the last time you noticed someone else's invisible work? And if you've ever felt like the only adult in the room, how did you find your voice? Comment below. Tell your story. And remember, sometimes the most powerful thing you can say isn't, I'm sorry. It's, I'll clean it up. Until next time. This is AITA Stories.